Hi, I'm Rick Brigham. I'm one of the editors of the book. Today, I get the distinct pleasure of interviewing a person I've known for quite a long time, Sister Sharon Sullivan, who's on the faculty at Brescia University in Owensboro, Kentucky. Sharon and I did our doctorates together at Purdue University, and she's one of the researchers that I have great respect for. So, anything you'd like to say before I get started on our questions?
And Brigham is one of the researchers I have great respect for. So there we go.
Yeah, it's kind of fun for us to talk to each other, kids. So, okay, so getting started here. She's in Kentucky today, and I'm in Virginia, and we don't have like great offices like this in the same place. Sharon, how did you first become interested in research?
Well, I was public school special ed teacher for a number of years. And as I was doing my master's work on there, of course, I was exposed to research as a consumer and just a beginning bit as a producer of research. And um, I think I'm sort of a pragmatist and I wanted it to be useful in my classroom in the work with my kids. And so I became committed to the notion that research could help me as a teacher, but that was as a consumer. And then when I began my doctoral work at Purdue, I went to Purdue because of Scruggs and Master Perry, because I had read their work
Mm-hmm.
and did part of that. And to think then that I might actually become engaged in conducting research was exciting, because I knew what it was to be able to use the results and to be able to become a producer of information that others could use. What was exciting to me.
I think that's a great word too. I tell my students that you know, for that brief moment when you can conclude your study and you know that you've got results that are meaningful and will stand the empirical test, you know something that nobody else has not learned yet, and that's really exciting. So, and by the way, I still use some of the research, the coached elaboration materials that you developed at the time. I still teach my teachers that, and the best ones use it in their classrooms. So, it's very useful. Um,
It's
what do you see the biggest challenge in disseminating? Speaking of things that people use, what do you see the biggest challenge in disseminating research to be?
for me, I'm in not necessarily unique, but a slightly different spot. Um, when I left Purdue, I returned to Brescia, which is a private liberal arts college slash university, and with limited limited resources. And one of the difficulties that we found in some of the dissemination of research is that um, our uh, our circle of influence is relatively small. We have direct influence and direct contact with local schools, and the students who have done their research through our programs are typically engaged locally as teachers, and so their dissemination is through their own practices, through state and sometimes regional conferences, presentations, and so forth. So
Uh,
um, they're relatively limited in the scope. So that's one of the difficulties with us. It's also hard to to convince practicing public school educators to write.
uh,
I didn't say that earlier, but that's a difficulty that I encountered with many of our students is the fear they had of of attempting to get their work published.
Ah, yeah.
Uh,
I can sympathize. You know, you know the story, but at the time I became editor of behavioral disorders, I had every submission, every manuscript I'd ever submitted to that journal rejected. I had never published in the journal, and then they made me editor of the journal. I thought that was ironic. So, yeah, I think that's a really good point. We have the same problem at my university. Part of it is people are very very busy and they're somewhat intimidated in the knowledge production process. I think they seem to think that it's more magical than it really is. A lot of get behind the mule and plow.
hmm And in a strange way, we this COVID situation we find ourselves in has opened at least another venue for sharing information, whether it's will support and strengthen research. I don't know, but it certainly has opened other venues for sharing information. The numbers of webinars, the numbers of seminars, the numbers of open
That's a good point.
uh, groups
Yeah,
in which people are able to share what they're doing.
I see. Okay, so just wrapping up here, do you think we're ever going to have enough research conducted that we can just say, that's it, we got it, folks, whole scene covered?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The whole point of research is to, well, yes, to share information, but to generate the next set of questions.
Uh,
Um, if research is good, then what it leaves us with is the next step. And so you can never come to the end of that next step.
it's like you pull back one curtain and there's a whole nother set of curtains behind it, huh?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sharon, it's always a hoot to talk to you. I look forward to visiting the Mount. That Mount St. Joseph's is where Sharon's, we call it a convent. That's where you
Yeah,
live?
it's convent, monastery, all kinds of different things on that.
So if you ever find yourself in Western Kentucky, do yourself a favor, go out to Mount St. Joseph, ask for Sister Sharon, and tell them Rick said hi. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you find the book useful. Sharon and I had a great time working on the chapter together, and we hope that you like it too.